All right, hey everybody, welcome back. It has been a while since any video has been coming out, and that's frankly because I've been really busy. So a quick apology about that. I can't believe I just started like one series, and then I had like 20 other videos I wanted to produce, and I'm going, oh my goodness, where do I have time? So I'm gonna hope that maybe this is the one. This is, you know, finish this one and see what happens. Um, as you can see, I'm in quite a mood. This is called a bad hair day, so this is why we wear hats indoors. And but regardless, so the the episode or this the part that we're gonna talk about is the YNV series, and the YNV series is the ENFJs, and I want to talk about the ENFJs because I guess they're just kind of misunderstood, um, for lack of a better term. Like there's quite a bit of them that I guess for like suffer maybe for it, and I'm not entirely sure. Uh, and so I just want to talk a little bit about them and why I think they're really cool. And to all the ENFJs out there who would watch this video and see it, I don't know if you guys would resonate. I don't know if you guys are gonna be into it or not. Again, this is coming from me, the lowly guy, lowly ENFP, just like making observations because it's what I do. So I do want to say the one point I really like about ENFJs is that they are the people you kind of pop up when you're going through like a really dark time in your life. They somehow like just appear. I don't know why they do, but they do. And they always seem to appear, and they don't deliver advice in like the weirdest or condescending way. It's often in the form of like, this is a process, you are one part of the universe, therefore the solution is also just around the corner. And you're like, how can it seem so real to you? And it seems totally unreal to me. And I guess it's just very like they can see the forest beyond the trees type of mentality, but that's kind of what I feel when I see them. And when they talk about it, or they talk about their advice, it comes off to me like that kind of amount, and it's really cool. They like to talk about how they probably are dry and that their humor isn't that great, but like I think, there's parts of them that's pretty funny. And that's totally fine. Another thing I really want to add to with ENFJs is that like you can always count on them to speak up, whether or not that's for your help as the person who they're speaking up for, or against you or whatever. You'll know that they will always say something, because again, it's like their mindset. They don't keep it in, right? It's kind of like they get a little passion inside, and any thought that they have is not necessarily supposed to remain in their minds. They want to be able to communicate that, and I think that's really cool. And I think that's more so their tertiary SC. Like, it kind of pushes them to express things because, dominant FE, tertiary SC, it kind of goes out in that little aspect, or works hand in hand. Then say me, like I'm an NE dom, so a lot of my actions, though, will come across kind of intense sometimes. I would rather pick a behind the scenes moment than push for a more, let's say, upfront and personal. Like, they can get really into it, and I think it's really interesting to watch them in their like natural habitat, to see them kind of play around with the room. Like, they're really powerful in that sense. What I envy the most is not the fact that they can control the mood and like do the whole thing. It's more so that they have the backbone to take it, because when you put yourself out there, whether or not that's what you intended to do, or whether or not you were designed or drawn to be that way as an ENFJ, there's a backlash that you're supposed to be able to handle. Sometimes I don't know if other people can see it, but there's always a cost every time you express yourself. And with ENFJs, I find that either I don't know if it's like a dedicated abuse, like a poison, like you just keep taking to the point, like in small amounts, so you get like really good at handling it. But like I'm in shock sometimes that the amount of shenanigans or weirdness that they can take from people, and that could be because they don't value introverted sensing, that they don't really understand the concept of being comfort or being comfortable in a situation. But it's really interesting to watch them kind of keep pushing forward, and it's going, is it strength, is it stupidity, is it purpose, is it direction, like what is it really? And it's like that intrigue that kind of makes you want to ask and want to know more. Like, ENFJs are the people that I would say you really want them around. I've had many conversations with people online where I've mentioned that ENFJs or FE DOMs in general, they are people like ESFJs by extension. They are resources to people that I guess some people folks don't really understand that they should tap into, because FE is a really powerful function when you let it happen. I think we live in a world where sometimes we pride each other on being trying to be strong by not talking about our feelings or whatever, and that's not really the FE way of things. It's like a combination of being helpful, being otherly focused, applying survival theory, and like all like looking at ethics in a more objective sense. It's a lot of things going on at once in their mind, and it's a lot of things that's focused really on the other person. And I guess for a person like me, who's usually more intro focused for myself, for a lot of my interests, that's something that's really fascinating that I would say would be really nice to try out. I mean, I did mention in a tweet that I was like, if I had like 5 minutes, I could probably work 5 minutes of an ENFJ like habitat, but I wouldn't really enjoy it. It's a little rough. It's a little difficult, let's say. But I gotta say that for how they are, and how they are with their strengths, and how they are handling like the situation that they're going through, it's for lack of a better word, amazing to watch them have that. I don't really know how the motion of this video is going to turn into, but I would have to say that as I continue talking about ENFJs, I have to say like these people represent the amount of humans on the planet that still kind of care about other people, and in the most rawest form, I think. Again, I'm going to include ESFJs to some extent in that, because FE is such a weird function that serves them really well. And I don't understand, but or maybe I do understand and I just don't care. I gotta say, they always, I don't know, like a lot of ENFJs, they tell me they're like, oh, I don't actually want to be a leader, but I'm always given the task of being a leader. And that's because just how they are with the crowd, with a room, they're just so, and again, because they don't value SI, so they don't like jump in thinking, oh, what's this gonna do to me? They're like, no, I see the problem, I see my solution, I'm gonna like go and attack it. And that's a thing, that is a thing. And I think people, I guess, misunderstand that ENFJs do have feelings. I think they're also blind to it themselves too. I think they don't always know what's going on inside, and that's because they're so focused outwards. I mean, take INFJs too. Like they're also like so focused on the you aspect. Everything about their lives is dedicated to the you. With NI in the stack, regardless if it's auxiliary or dominant, there's always that need to ask, what's the greater purpose in life? How are they in relation to the universe? And it's, in layman's terms, in how that's going to be translated, is that they're going to be the type of people that when you talk to them, you will never expect a dull moment or a dull conversation, because they'll always try to make everything deep. Which I have to say, like, I don't mind as a fellow intuitive. I remembered a conversation I had with ENFJ Denzel, and like we discussed like the concept of small talk. And if Denzel, if you watch this, like this is a shout out to you. When we discussed the concept of small talk, like I personally enjoy small talk. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about this. To me, it's dropping 2 cents in every little thing, and then go on my daily business, having had my little investments done. But in your case, it's like, if you're gonna talk to me about any topic, we are gonna shift it into something that's palatable and applicable to the main grand scheme of things. Like, why do you like it? Why do you think the weather's like this? What purpose does this make for us as humans on this planet? Which I have to say might turn off some folks because they're not used to it like that. I remember making a whole like thread about how it may be difficult for like some folks to like wrap their heads around this, because like I guess since NI is kind of a rare function anyway, like it's really difficult for people to kind of wrap their heads that these are kinds of people who go about their daily business thinking like this all the time. So it may come off weird. I just have to say though, like as an NE dom, like I do envy how how deep they can go. Like, I just don't see it the same way. I don't see, or nor do I guess talk in such an aspect that's so, what is it like? The motion I'm going for is like when you have convert, like it's like a convergence factor of thoughts. Like I don't think my mind works like that. Well, I know it, my mind doesn't work like that. So it's really interesting to see somebody to go through that, because I would want to know what it's like to focus possibilities, or to not even like look at possibilities. If only I could look at something in its rawest form and derive some meaning out of it for what it is, from what it is, versus having no meaning and believing that everything is an expansion. So it's, I would say it's a kind of a nice break to be able to peek into your minds a second and then just like look and see what that's like. I have to say though, like you guys are the type of people that's really there for people. I don't know if like, I don't know if that's really, lets people understand that a bit, but they really are. They give off maybe a vibe that they don't have time for you, which I think it's because they are dealing with a lot of people. When you're an FE dominant, you deal with like thousands of people a day, and that's partly an exaggeration. And I think that's because people demand your time. And with ENFJs, when you do get their time, however, you have to understand that it's not the next introverted function is an introverted intuition. Like that's a focusing, honing in type of function. So when like you talk to somebody who's an ENFJ and you finally got their attention, or let's say you scheduled an attention and they made it work for you, it's a whole different experience. It's like the universe decides to look at you once for the first time. Or maybe maybe that's just how I feel about it. But yeah, it feels like the universe looks at you for the first time. And I guess I would say it's the same thing for ENTJs and INTJs as well, because of NI. NI gives you that feeling. And people, you can be uncomfortable all you want, but there's a comfort, I would say. It's like, I don't know about us fellow NE users, but it's like looking at the abyss and smiling back at it. Like being face to face with nothing and realizing that it's totally okay. And I think that's kind of like the same thing that I'm getting from them, is looking at the aeons of the universe smack in your face and saying, hey, what's up? And that's kind of really interesting to experience when talking. More so, I guess, with ENFJ, at least the ones with it, because I've been interacting with them quite a bit. Shout out to Kat and Meghan as well, because I interact with you guys a lot more. There is a caring within them. I call them out as being too kind, like all of them. They're just way too nice. But they have a heart, and it's pretty big. And what I envy a lot with that as well is that their ethics, their value system is so connected to reality, and I would wish that mine was something like that. And I guess to elaborate more on it, it's like mine tends to wax and wane. I do have some FI values that I keep really close to my heart, and that I would put my foot down when things get a little annoying. But with them, it's almost instant. Like, I guess I don't look at the world so objectively like they do, and I envy a lot about that. That's a strength I know I do not have, and I am definitely trying to work on. I thank myself for TE, so that's my guess, that's my little thing. But with FE, it's like you have this whole nother system, and you're like, what? Another thing too, it's because they're inferior TI, I guess they crave just being knowledgeable on things, and people, I guess, just underestimate how knowledgeable they can and are, and how focused they can be when it comes to information. Like, they really are, like, into that. And I guess when you tap into an ENFJ and get to hear those little moments of them, it feels really good. I'm gonna like segue that into a little appreciation for their privacy, is that they won't always share everything with you. And I think that's normal. Like, at least for me, I personally, I don't want anyone to feel obligated to share anything to me if they don't want to. And I think, in my case, or in my opinion, it feels better when they share it out of the genuine goodness of their heart, because that way like me as the listener gets the maximum amount of value from that, because it's coming straight from them. You have nothing, because they don't feel obligated, they don't feel forced. And I know they like to say things how like I'm private, I don't always say everything. I may be trusting or untrusting, but regardless, they keep information to themselves. And to me, it's like, go ahead, keep information to yourself. I feel like I should probably do that a little bit more. I'm picky too when it comes to information, but I have like weaponized FI, so it's like somewhat vulnerable, sometimes not really. Like it's a little different in my case, but with you guys, it's like there's a privacy, there's a hidden world there that it's not like FI. Like it's cold, but it's not scary. And I don't know how else to explain it. If y'all and NFJs gotta be able to like explain this to me somehow, or be able to like resonate with that kind of wording. But that's kind of how I feel about it. And I think it's really, really fun to have them around. When you have an ENFJ in a room and they are, vibing with you, note that they will make the room vibe along with you guys as well. So it becomes like this like realm. And we don't think about it enough, but creating a realm where you can talk freely and creating a realm where you can discuss ideas and never feel like we wish as FI users, or at least as myself, we wish that I could do that, but FE DOMs can do it like that. And that's like not something that I guess we don't think about it enough because it's subtle or something. But if you really pay attention to it, you see it happening before your eyes, and it's like what? That's a thing, and it's a thing. Like it's a thing. FE is ridiculously interesting. Like it's. I have to say, like ENFJs, they really bring a side of happiness that's, again, raw. It's a side of happiness that's really, I guess I don't know how to explain it, but I guess because I'm an FI, I'm on the receiving end. So when you do receive it, it's actually like really, maybe there's a warmth factor to that. Maybe there isn't. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't usually deliver myself to others in that aspect either. Like that's not something I do personally. It's not something that I adhere to or express in that sense. So it's like, I have to say, like, it's something. It's definitely something. So I want to end it kind of on that note. I want you guys to mull over my little envy moment there, because I know there's definitely a lot more, and there's definitely, I would say, a lot to say. I mean, maybe in another live chat, I'll have like NFJs all over, like in the live chat, I'll be like, hey, I'll take questions. I want to talk to y'all again. I don't mean to sound creepy, but you guys, I hone in on you guys like instantly. Like I don't know how other people perceive it, but like when I can catch ENFJs really quickly in a room. It's very like, or NFJs in general. Like it's like, I know you guys are trying to be like subtle and stuff, but because my NE is just like everywhere, when it hits an NI, it's always like, and it just like float, and I'm going, like my eyes just goes, oh, interesting direction of your intuition. Tell me more. So and I think that's why it's so refreshing, to be honest. I mean, I personally do not have a lot of intuitives where I live or where I am in my vicinity, so it is very instant when I catch intuitives to talk to, because it's the reaction tends to be really quick. So that's my last little tidbit on that. Thought I'd make it a little short. It's usually I go for an hour here, but trying to keep it as concise as possible. But yeah, thought I'd leave this with you guys. I don't know, should I just start ending it with like and subscribe, all that good times? I don't know, but here's how we do. So ENFJs, wherever you are, keep doing what you're doing. Note that I am watching you guys. I mean, not trying to be creepy, but I'm watching y'all. And everybody else, have a good night. We'll see for whatever I have next on my menu of the other people I envy, because I envy a lot apparently. So bye.